How does the American Advanced Sensors for Early Detection and Tracking of Threats work? Imagine a giant, invisible web stretched across the Earth, the oceans, and even into space, constantly listening, watching, and sensing the slightest signs of danger. This is how the United States Advanced Sensors for Early Threat Detection and Tracking work. Their mission is not just to detect a threat, but to do so early and precisely enough to respond before it even gets close. This system works thanks to a multilayered structure. Sensors are placed on land, in the air, at sea, and in space. In space, surveillance is conducted by satellites like those in the SPIRS, space-based infrared system. These use infrared sensors capable of detecting the heat signature of a missile launch the moment it happens. They can see the thermal flash through clouds, day or night, from thousands of kilometers away. These orbital guardians form the first line of detection, watching the entire planet. On the ground, enormous radar stations, like those in Alaska and Greenland, scan the skies. They use phased array technology, which allows them to instantly change the direction of their scan electronically without physically moving the antenna. These radars can detect something the size of a baseball from hundreds of kilometers away. In the air, mobile platforms, ranging from AWACS aircraft with their spinning radar domes to high-altitude drones like the Global Hawk, patrol vast territories, providing real-time updates and supplementing the sensor picture. At sea, U.S. Navy ships, especially destroyers, are equipped with cutting-edge radars like the Spy-6, capable of tracking hundreds of targets simultaneously, from ships and submarines to low-flying cruise missiles. But that's not all. In today's world, threats come not only from the air or sea, they can be digital. That's where cyber sensors and signals intelligence systems come in, analyzing electromagnetic emissions, network traffic, and suspicious digital behavior to detect cyber attacks, radio interference, or covert activity in cyberspace. Each sensor sees the world in its own unique way. Infrared systems detect heat, radar sends out radio waves and analyzes their echoes, electro-optical systems provide detailed imagery, and signals intelligence intercepts enemy communications or radar emissions. Processing the immense flow of data from all these sensors is where the true technological marvel lies. Advanced signal processing and artificial intelligence algorithms sift through all this noise to spot real threats. The system can distinguish between a commercial plane and a hostile missile, or between a weather satellite and a reconnaissance one. It can also detect when something unusual is happening in the digital realm. But the true strength of the U.S. early warning system lies not just in the sensors themselves, but in how they're connected. Through a process called data fusion, information from multiple sources is combined and cross-verified in real time. For example, if an infrared satellite detects a heat flash indicating a missile launch, the system immediately checks input from ground-based radars, drone imagery, and intercepted communications in the area. Within seconds, it can determine not only that a launch has occurred, but where it came from, what type of missile it is, what path it's taking, and what the likely target is. This fused data is displayed on giant command center screens, where human operators make split-second decisions based on insights delivered at machine speed. If a threat is confirmed, the system shifts from detection to action. Interceptors based in Alaska or aboard Navy ships in the Pacific can be launched to meet the incoming threat head-on. These use a hit-to-kill approach, colliding with the enemy warhead mid-air at many times the speed of sound. But detection and interception aren't the end of the story. To face emerging threats, like hypersonic missiles that fly at over 5 times the speed of sound and can maneuver unpredictably, American sensor systems are constantly evolving. New satellites, like those in the upcoming next-gen OPIR program, are being developed to detect these faster threats. Even more futuristic are quantum sensors, still in early stages of development, which promise extraordinary sensitivity, able to detect minute changes in gravity or magnetic fields, opening new possibilities in surveillance and reconnaissance. And this isn't just theoretical, it's already in action. When North Korea conducts missile tests, US sensors are the first to know. In 2023, when a Chinese surveillance balloon drifted into American airspace, it was tracked in fine detail. In the Middle East, US bases use layered sensor systems to detect and neutralize drone attacks in the desert. This system isn't just a network of devices. It's a high-tech living organism, one that feels threats long before they arrive. This is how the American Early Detection System works. A digital sentinel that never sleeps. How does the American ground-based interceptors work? Visualize a scene where, somewhere deep underground, buried beneath the frozen expanses of Alaska, are massive missiles. Not built for attack, not carrying explosives, and not designed to destroy cities. Their mission is singular, yet incredibly complex. To destroy an enemy warhead in space, mid-flight, before it ever reaches the United States. It all begins with the very first sign of danger, the launch of an enemy missile. The moment it lifts off from a silo or mobile launcher, it is already being watched by US satellites equipped with infrared sensors, such as those in the SPIRS system. Simultaneously, ground-based radar stations, massive, powerful installations in places like Greenland or Pacific Islands, begin tracking the missile's trajectory, calculating its speed and direction, and feeding this data to command centers. This information is processed in real time, because in missile defense, every second counts. Once the threat is confirmed, the ground-based mid-course defense system springs into action. This is America's primary line of defense against long-range nuclear strikes. Algorithms immediately calculate the missile's path, determining where and when it can be intercepted. The most effective time to strike is during the mid-course phase, when the missile has already exited Earth's atmosphere and is coasting silently through space. That's where the interceptor has to meet it. It's like predicting where a fastball will land before the pitcher has even finished his throw. Except it's happening at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour. With the calculations complete, a command is issued: launch. From deep silos at places like Fort Greely, Alaska, a ground-based interceptor, GBI, roars to life. A towering missile, as tall as a 4-story building. Its job is to carry a specialized payload called the Exoatmospheric Kill Vehicle, EKV. This is the real interceptor. But unlike traditional missiles, the EKV carries no explosives. It doesn't blow up near the target. Its mission is to hit it directly. A high-speed collision. As the GBI exits Earth's atmosphere, the EKV separates and begins its solo journey. Navigating by star fields, infrared sensors, and real-time guidance from ground control, it fine-tunes its course with tiny thrusters. At the same time, the enemy missile may deploy decoys, inflatable balloons, metal reflectors, anything to confuse the interceptor. But the EKV's task is to identify the real warhead among the fakes. And when it does, it fires its thrusters and locks onto a collision course with unthinkable precision. At speeds over 15,000 miles per hour, the EKV slams into the target, destroying it with sheer force, long before it can re-enter the atmosphere. After the intercept attempt, data is analyzed. Satellite and radar feedback help determine if the strike was successful, whether the real warhead was hit, and if a follow-up interceptor is needed. The system is designed to handle complex scenarios, including simultaneous multiple missile attacks. That's why it's supported by other layers of defense, like mobile THAAD batteries, Aegis ships with SM-3 missiles, and emerging short-range interceptors for close-in defense. What's most astonishing about this system is the level of autonomy and precision involved. The EKV must make decisions in the vacuum of space within seconds, distinguishing a real warhead from decoys and hitting it head-on at speeds many times faster than a bullet. There are no Hollywood-style explosions, no dramatic fireballs, just a brief, violent impact in the cold silence of space. And all of this happens without a single ounce of explosive on board. But the technology is not standing still. A new generation of interceptors is in development. The Next Generation Interceptor, NGI. These will be smarter, faster, capable of engaging multiple threats at once, and resilient enough to counter emerging dangers like hypersonic glide vehicles, which fly lower, faster, and can maneuver unpredictably. This represents the next step in creating a proactive shield that doesn't just respond, but anticipates. This is how America's ground-based interceptors work. A hidden defender buried in the earth, ready at any moment to launch into space and stop destruction before it begins. Conclusion. The American Missile Defense System, often called the Golden Dome, stands as one of the most extraordinary achievements of modern defense. An invisible shield forged from space-age technology, lightning-fast algorithms, and millisecond decision-making. Its greatest strength lies not just in its firepower, but in its intelligence. It can detect a missile launch from the other side of the planet in seconds, calculate its trajectory in real time, and dispatch a silent, unarmed interceptor that meets the threat in the vacuum of space with surgical precision. No explosions, just raw kinetic energy and a perfect strike. What makes it unmatched is its layered structure. From space-based infrared eyes to ground-based radars, sea-based platforms, and the ultra-precise hit-to-kill interceptors. It's a system that sees all, reacts instantly, and adapts to threats that evolve by the day, whether from rogue states, hypersonic weapons, or swarms of drones. The Golden Dome doesn't just protect territory, it preserves the balance of power. It's not just a shield. It's a promise that even in the face of the unthinkable, there is still control, precision, and the quiet strength to stop destruction before it begins.